Last week, St. Joseph's celebrated 110 years since it was founded in 1912. The club comes from a modest and working-class background and is Gibraltar's oldest football club. In its over a century of history, the team has one league title in the 1995-96 season, but has been more successful in the cup runs, winning 10 Rock Cups. There's been highs and lows over the last decade. They won the last cup in 2013, but were almost relegated a season after. Since then, the club has established themselves as a top team in Gibraltar, competing in European action every summer since the 2017-18 campaign, and as of recent, been a strong contender for the league title. At the St. Joseph's Club, President Christian Hook runs us through the Saints' creation all those years ago.
Down here we have the application documents from the governor, general governor of that day, of the 20th of January 1912, responding to the club, which was then called St. Joseph's Recreational and Dramatic Club, giving them permission to agree to the premises, which was in the South Districts, and the permission for the 20th of January. Since that day, we were formed as a club. Here we have the patron, who was then the Bishop of Gibraltar in that year, the vice patron, the president, which was Father Greg. That's why the name was St. Joseph, because the then father of St. Joseph's Church gave us the premises to license as a club. So he was the president. And here we have the new rules. And if you read the rules, they're quite laughable, because one of them says that no ball playing will be allowed in the club. Actually, a year later, ball playing was allowed, and our first game was held on the 12th of April 1913 against Rovers. So here is where the club and all the constitution and everything came out.
We were then joined by Technical Director John Paul Hendrick and CEO Stuart Rodriguez to speak about the club's past and very recent present. Christian, 110 years of St. Joseph Football Club, the oldest football club in Gibraltar. You've dedicated a life to this team. What does it mean?
It means a lot, not only for me, but for all the people who's gone the past years with St. Joseph's. And it's a great honour to be celebrating our 110th year.
And St. Joseph being a big contender for titles for a long time in Gibraltar. Last year you came closest you've been for a while to winning the league. Is there a trophy soon to come?
Well, it's hard to say. We can only keep trying, and it wasn't just last year, but the year before. We had the season brutally cut with COVID when we were still in the hunt, for the top spots, and unfortunately we didn't get to know what would have materialized. Last year we got even closer. Unfortunately we dropped points against certain opposition that maybe on another day we should have overcome, and we matched the top two that had entered into UEFA from the start, and we've been trying to catch up year on year, and I think we managed to do that last year, but unfortunately we couldn't get the team over the proverbial line.
And since 2017, playing in Europe, playing versus the likes of Rangers in Scotland, in your lifetime, could you ever imagine seeing St. Joseph playing games of that magnitude?
Well, obviously not. It's something which was a privilege and a huge honour for a small club from Gibraltar, playing against the likes of Rangers. The experience was enormous. We all enjoyed the occasion. We thank everyone who helped us along the line to get it over the line. The players who played a big part in the game before that. But hopefully the club is going in the right direction and try and get these games as soon as possible and more often than not.
And Christian, bringing it back to 110 years, how much dedication and what's so special about this club that has been running so smoothly for so long?
The dedication has been all my life, not only for me, like I told you before, for all the people who are involved in St. Joseph. We give 100% dedication to everything we do. And being part of 110 years old, the past members, past presidents, everybody who's gone through this club has had the same dedication. We've had always the same family atmosphere, and that's what keeps us going.
Is it that family atmosphere that makes you one of the most well-supported clubs at the Victoria Stadium every weekend, do you think?
Yes, I suppose so. I think anybody associated or, either by being in the youth ranks or just by knowing people from the club, I think they know that the club touches you in such a way that even if you support another team, your second team tends to be a St. Joseph's, or at least you sympathise with the club. So I think the humble roots that we've always had, it's been a very working class club, and long may that continue. That's what keeps, I think, the affinity between the club, the fans and the players all together. And we're very proud of our history, and we're very proud of what might come in the future.
And we spoke a bit before about playing in Europe since 2017. We've seen Lincoln qualify to the Conference Cup for conference competition. We said before it would be unimaginable to see St. Joseph play in Europe, but now there's a realistic chance of actually making it into a full-blown tournament.
Yeah, most certainly. What Lincoln achieved this season is spectacular for the world of football, especially for Gibraltar, which have only been one of the youngest clubs or federations that's in UEFA. The reality is there, the chance is there, you have to make the most of it. It's very hard and very difficult to get